have a game with happy and sad music. When you hear the happy music, play your rhythm sticks or clap, just as you did before, like this.
Greetings, I'm Zumi Protocol. I've been a part of Anonymous for the past 6 years. Anonymous was born from a hacker culture which has evolved into a worldwide idea of freedom and global equality. With the help of social media, Anonymous gained volume and pace and exposed the flaws within our political and financial system to more and more people. They are waking up. They now see how corrupt our political system really is, and they can see the imbalance of our financial system. What we have in this country is a corporately owned government. Our environment and water supply is being raped in the name of share prices. Anonymous exists without borders, nationality, race, religion or gender. It is the living, breathing consciousness of the free world. Every November the 5th, the Million Mask March is a sign that humanity, around the world, is crying out for change.
It's not even worth talking to them. It's honestly, what? They're not going to listen. They're stuck in this system. A system that is designed to make us what? Believe that we have an illusion of choice. Puppet number 1, 2 or 3. No, mate. I don't agree with politicians. I have no time for politicians.
That the right of the grass to regrow this week rather than in a week's time is more important than us exercising our democratic right to freely assemble, then shame on you. You are meant to be facilitating this process.
People have been infantilized, they've had the feeling of their own agency taken away from them, and most people do not recognize their own power. Most people don't believe that they have the ability to see what's going on and to change things, that they can speak up, that they can take action.
Who's square? All square! 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 Square! All square!
No justice! No peace! Fuck the police! No justice! No peace! Fuck the police! No justice! No peace! Fuck the police!
We are not living in a democracy, if you mean by democracy that everybody has the ability to express what they want, or even the majority has the ability to express what they want. If you look at the policies favoured by the majority of the population, They are not the policies of the main political parties. The policies of the main political parties are very much influenced and dictated by the finance sector. So the simple answer would be not really, although it looks like it sometimes.
This is the British police at Parliament Square defending a bit of grass.
Democracy and
It is.
they're obstructing a public piece of property with the pavement.
I know.
Yeah,
Look,
so we can't go on the pavement.
this is what peaceful.
Get off the road, but we're not allowed on the
This is what peaceful protests face in the UK. Look at them. Not Nazi Germany, but Nazi Britain. Police State 1984 is live here at Parliament tonight.
Would you say, would it be fair to say that we're living in an economic dictatorship?
Well, the ideal model of free market economics depends on the assumption that everybody comes to the market with roughly equal financial wealth, and then you get all these benefits which they talk about in your Economics 101 courses. Now, in fact, that system very quickly degrades into something very, very unequal, where the power of individuals creates a virtual dictatorship. It's not as if we've totally lost habeas corpus, but certainly the world is ruled for the benefit of the 1% more than the benefit of the 99%.
Controversy, information, the truth, and the laws on Anon Radio, UK,
Follow Million Mask March. On November the 5th, more than 400 cities around the globe are hosting mass rallies for fairness, justice, and freedom.
Remember the 5th of November, the gunpowder, treason, and plot. I know of no reason why the gunpowder treason should ever be forgotten. Remember the 5th of November, the gunpowder, treason, and plot. I know of no reason why the gunpowder treason should ever be forgotten. Voila! In view, a humble vaudevillian veteran, cast vicariously as both victim and villain by the vicissitudes of fate. This visage, no mere veneer of vanity, is a vestige of the vox populi, now vacant, vanished. However, this valorous visitation of a bygone vexation stands vivified, and has vowed to vanquish these venal and virulent vermin, vanguarding vice and vouchsafing the violently vicious and voracious violation of felicity. The only verdict is vengeance, a vendetta, held as a votive not in vain, for the value and veracity of such shall one day vindicate the vigilant and the virtuous. Verily, this vichyssoise of verbiage veers most verbose, so let me simply add that it's my very good honor to meet you, and you may call me V.
By their nature, Anonymous are a highly secretive organisation. Moreover, what distinguishes them from other political movements is the fact that they are non-hierarchical. They don't have a party whip. Members of Anonymous can express themselves freely without having to answer to some higher authority or ideology. However, the Million Mask March is a date when all of these factions can come together, united in one belief, that there is something fundamentally wrong with the society we're living in today.
To learn more about Anonymous, I decided to meet with the organisers of this year's Million Mask March.
The good ideas, even if someone tries to censor them, they will never be forgotten. So today, we need to assure not only that we'll be entitled to a tomorrow, but we need to ensure that that tomorrow will be better than today. Regardless which country of the world, regardless what's your background, because you stand for the same justice, equality, and freedom as any of your fellow protesters. And you go to a march and you will see war refugees, you see poor people, you see the disabled, but you see rich people as well. You see leftists, you see people from the right, you see religious people, you see atheist people, you see people that are extremists, and people that sincerely don't care for nothing. But all have one thing in common. They hope better for humanity.
Yeah, I would hope for around 10,000 people.
10,000?
I would hope about that. Every year we will see the progress, and last year they reported on 2,500 people. I think, personally, that was over 5,000. So this year I think we've been promoting, not like last year, just before the march starting, we've been promoting for a whole year before that. So I think we can get much more people.
I think the first thing to say is actually it's quite an important statement to make that Anonymous have a politics, because I think there is sometimes a tendency to dismiss Anonymous as chaotic, as a meme, as just a kind of insurrectionary fashion. And I think actually that's quite dangerous, and we saw that, you know, after the riots in 2011 when people decided that they weren't political. I think that maybe just because you don't understand the politics doesn't mean it's not political. So people don't go out and buy a mask for no reason. Anons always want to focus on the here and now. You know, what are the problems around us that we can see? Homelessness, inequality, poverty. All these problems are visible to us. We don't need the abstraction of politics or of capitalism to understand them. We can see them, and therefore we should address them as human beings.
Although insightful, meeting the organisers of the Million Mask March wasn't enough. I wanted to meet a face behind the mask and experience on a personal level what it means to be in Anonymous.
I've always felt like I didn't really fit into society in any way, shape or form. There wasn't really a box that I fitted into. When I was 14, when I was a child, I grew up in care, and I had a full care order from the age of 3, so I didn't really see much of my family. And I used to run away a lot, so I spent some time homeless on the streets, and I was abused in care. And then when I was 14, I started looking at how I could make a difference and play them at their own game. So I learned quite quickly that you needed to know their rules. You needed to know where other people in children's homes were maybe kicking off, being restrained and things like that. I was studying the ways I would get what I wanted. I mean, I had them giving me £50 a week clothing allowance and a trip then moved me to America by the end of it, you know. I learned to play the system. But that led me to Parliament, where I stood up for the Charter of Children's Rights. And I also helped work with the Mayor of Coventry to do one for children in care. So that got me first interested in politics. And then I stood for the Lib Dems and I've stood for the Greens. And I've tried the political road, but it's bullshit.
Tell us a little bit more about your experiences on November the 5th.
Oh, it's like Christmas. It's like every Anonymous and activist Christmas. We all get together and it's so exciting, and I think that's the whole point in it. And the bonding, and you just know you're going to see all these people, and like months and months before you, everyone just puts, see you on the 5th, see you on the 5th. It's like, oh, the 5th, can't wait.
We'd go on protests, and we normally then marching for a specific topic, but at the Million Mask March, it's really just a bit of, we're here, there's nothing you can do about it. And we'll all have different issues that we're representing, but it's more than just two things of establishment.
I don't mind them, but I don't love them. I love bacon. Yeah, me too. Opinion. I'm down. There's a bit of a cunt, really.
We may have different opinions, we may have different goals, but above all, we make sure that someone is standing tall in order to preserve what humanity should be.
Oh, careful, because you'll break it or
To revolution.
To revolution.
There we go.
Dubbed the Million Mass March.
Now, I'm a big fan of democracy. Democracy is a good thing, and it has to work when everybody takes part in it. There is a real opportunity here for young people to take back this space that has their name on it.
Mm-hmm. And in terms of sort of democracy, do you think democracy is working, or do you think there's a sort of problem with democracy at the moment when, you know, there are protests in London almost every week? In fact, there's a protest going on in Parliament Square that was actually, well, it was stopped by the police. I mean, do you think democracy is working when people are having to take to the streets to get their voices heard? And young people mostly as well.
I think, to be fair, democracy probably started because people took to the streets. The history of democracy has protest running through it, and that has to be a very healthy thing.
Mm-hmm.
Now, as we say, we can talk about the particular policies or the particular things that get people going.
But
actually, I think today's young people are using a whole range of things to make their voices heard. Some of those are informal politics, and some of those are not.
Are they forced to do that, though? I think that's the question. Are people forced to engage in politics through alternative means because they feel like voting and they feel like the system itself isn't geared up to help them, so they're having to go to different channels in order to be political? It's not the fact that they're sort of politically apathetic. They want to come involved in politics, but they're having to go through different channels in order to be political.
Well, I think actually the great thing about the modern world is there's a ton of channels available.
Yeah.
So there are new technical ways of making your voice heard that simply didn't exist 30 years ago. That's actually a really exciting thing. Politics, if you like, in the street is an option today alongside politics on the web, alongside politics inside Parliament, alongside politics everywhere you'd care to look. There's a really exciting range of ways for young people to be involved in their community. Now, you define your community how you like, if it's your community online or if it's your community in a village or in a town or in a city or in a country. All of that, to me, is a very exciting evolution of politics, and I think that young people have every place at the heart of that. I would particularly encourage anyone watching this film, in the group that we're talking about, to get into formal politics. It won't change without you in it.
But what if the formal politics doesn't represent, you know, their interests or, you know, their ideas? You know, I suppose it does go back to that idea of all the parties being the same, and it sort of leads on to the next question as well, which is, do you think there's like a problem with the system at the moment? Like, what kind of reforms are needed? Because a lot of young people especially would say that, you know, neoliberal capitalism, what we're living under at this very moment, isn't working, and that it needs to be reformed somehow. I mean, would you agree with that? What kind of reforms are needed?
I've actually met very few young people who use that word to describe any of that.
Neoliberal capitalism.
People just want to get on with their lives,
well,
and I think actually democracy has to be flexible enough to do all of that across words long and words short. Democracy means that people's needs have to be balanced, so you're not going to get the thing that you want tomorrow and just as you wanted it. You are going to have to work with what democracy does, but as I've said all the way through, democracy is there for everyone. If you don't like what you see in it, get in yourself and change it.
Well, some people will be doing that on the 5th of November. Have you ever heard of the Anonymous movement?
I have.
Yeah, well, no, we've got actually, like, I don't know, this mask here.
Right,
and,
nice.
Yeah, on the 5th of November, these guys will be marching through the streets of London.
Right, good.
And they come into Parliament to protest.
Yeah.
Will you be there to, like, hear their voices?
Well, I imagine I'll be in Parliament because it's my job as a member of Parliament, but I'll look forward to hearing what they've got to say.
Yeah, I mean, do you have any thoughts on Anonymous? Because, as I said, these are people, we've spoken to a few of them actually, and they don't believe democracy works.
Right.
You know, they have sort of very sort of serious concerns about democracy and about politicians. And I was just wondering if, you know, if you had any comments on that.
Not specifically, I don't. I'll look forward to hearing what they've got to say. And just on the subject of being anonymous and being behind a mask,
I think a few of them are actually in Parliament Square right now.
Well, that's great.
Yeah.
That's really good for them. As we said
They
earlier in the interview,
were in Parliament Square, but then the police came in and warned it off and stuff.
Well, as we said earlier in the interview, there are a ton of good ways in the modern world to make your views known. I don't get the luxury of being anonymous. I'm an MP. I'm available to my constituency in Norwich. If any of my constituents are amongst that, I'd be looking forward to hearing from them.
Okay. So it's the night before the Million Mask March, and I'm both excited and apprehensive about it. This is the closest I'll get to experiencing what it's like to be an Anonymous. From what I've learned speaking to people within Anonymous, the Million Mask March isn't about one single issue. People were there for all kinds of reasons, protesting against what they perceive to be unfairness, inequality and corruption within our society. The march seems to be a more personal experience. You, as an individual, decide what you're protesting against, whether the person marching next to you believes it or not. The point is, though, that things do need to change, that we can't go on living like this. And the march is that statement. It's a statement of solidarity, it's a statement of unity, it's a statement that we're all in this together despite our differences. And I suppose that in itself is the essence of revolution.
It's time to have a look at your face. Take off your mask.
The gunpowder treason plot. Gunpowder treason should ever be forgot. Remember the 5th of November, the gunpowder treason plot. Gunpowder treason should ever be forgot. Remember the 5th of November, the gunpowder treason plot. I know no reason the gunpowder treason should ever be forgotten. Remember the 5th of November, the gunpowder treason plot. I just in the rain. I just in the rain, thought of the man. I just in the rain, thought of the man. I just in the rain, thought of the man. I just in the rain, thought of the man. Thought of the man. Thought of the man. I know there's no way I can convince you this isn't one of their tricks, but I don't care. I am me. My name's Annie. I don't think I live much longer than I wanted to tell someone about my life. This is the only autobiography that I'll ever write. God, I'll write a autobiography.
Words will always retain their power. Words are the means to meaning, and for those who will listen, the enunciation of truth. And the truth is, there is something terribly wrong with this country, isn't there? Again, truth be told, if you're looking for the guilty, you need only look into a mirror. I know why you did it. I know you're afraid. Fairness, justice, and freedom are more than words. They are perspectives. Fairness, justice, and freedom are more than words. They are perspectives. Fairness, justice, and freedom are more than words. They are perspectives. Fairness, justice, and freedom are more than words. They are perspectives. Why won't you die? Beneath this mask, there is more than flesh. Beneath this mask, there is an idea, Mr. Grady. And ideas are bulletproof. Again, truth be told, if you're looking for the guilty, you need only look into a mirror. I know why you did it. I know you were afraid.
Remember the 5th of November, the gunpowder treason and plot. I know of no reason why the gunpowder treason should ever be
Ideas are bulletproof.
Remember the 5th of November, the gunpowder treason and plot. I know of no reason why the gunpowder treason should ever be forgotten.
Ideas are bulletproof.
Remember the 5th of November, the gunpowder treason and plot. I know of no reason why the gunpowder treason should ever be Remember the 5th of November, the gunpowder treason and plot. I know of no reason why the gunpowder treason should ever be
Ideas are bulletproof.
It seems strange that my life should end in such a terrible place. But for 3 years.
Ideas are bulletproof.
No reason why the gunpowder treason should ever be
Ideas are bulletproof.
Remember the 5th of November, the gunpowder treason.
Fairness, justice, and freedom are more than words. They are perspectives. Fairness, justice, and freedom are more than words. They are perspectives. Fairness, justice, and freedom are more than words. They are perspectives. Fairness, justice, and freedom are more than words. They are perspectives.
But what I hope most of all is that you understand what I mean when I tell you that even though I do not know you, and even though I may never meet you, laugh with you, cry with you, or kiss you, I love you with all my heart. I love you.
So, November the 5th wasn't the start of the revolution. But then again, history has taught us that revolutions happen over decades, sometimes even hundreds of years before real change comes about. But what this experience has taught me is that Anonymous do have something genuine to say about politics. They're not all conspiracy nuts and cyber thugs. Anonymous represent what I'm sure most of us feel deep down, that there is something wrong with the world, that humanity can do better for itself. And perhaps most importantly, they remind us that a better world is possible, a fairer world. And that, comrades, is a world worth fighting for. We have nothing to lose but our chains.